Hi guys and girls, and welcome back to Greatest Good Tarot. Hope you're doing well and keeping out of mischief. Now, weird day already. Weird flipping day. I done a reading, flat my face. I done my due diligence. I done my thing concerning King Obama. You'll get that if you remember. Now, quite literally and metaphorically speaking, I don't know why. I'm putting it on record. I do not know why that Obama reading was going to be public after I finished it, pottering around, doing its upload, all that kind of stuff. For some reason, I'm being nudged, downloaded, whatever you want to call it, to make that a member reading. Okay, it wasn't intentionally, it wasn't going to be, but for some reason I'm being told to do it as a member reading. So there you go. All right, I'm following the lead. I'm just doing my duty, whatever that means. I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. And that one went quite kind of off-piste from where the question was going. Nothing new. It's very much nothing new. However, so we've got another question that came in that was very, very lovely. However, before we do, much praise and thanks must be given because, as you know, we've got a new system now where we can thank or name and shame, depending how you look at it, lovely people who are contributing and keeping this channel going via super thanks. And we do this on a Monday and a Friday and whenever there is a new donation. And we've had a new donation. And so that is why we now go through the beauty that is the Hall of Legends. So let's have a quick look here. So thank you very much indeed for everybody who has contributed to this and continues to. Just as a reminder, these lovely frames will be filled in, hopefully as more go, and very lovely indeed. That will be kind of, some may shrink down as time goes on. However, they're always there. It's like commitment and a love and affection. Apart from these beautiful people, and it was Pippa with their £5 the latest newbie on the top of the list. And as they more come in, as they go down, they scroll downwards. So thank you sincerely, Pippa, for your kindness and generosity for your £5 there. It's very, very kind indeed. Much love and affection to you and your family. So thank you very much indeed. And if you would like to, then there's the button down there. It looks like that. And you can see it. If you can't see it, sorry, there's three dots, as you can see on the right-hand side. I know there's too many options in there. So if it can't fit on your screen for whatever reason, it should be under the three dots if you're interested. So thank you very much indeed, Pippa, for your kindness and generosity. And thank you. So, because each for me, and I know we're different to other channels, blah, 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 stuff like that. But it's important to me to give praise because each one is a blessing to me. And it's like, I don't want, and we see it regularly, to forget the people who have continued to support and kindness and stuff like that. Because other channels are just like, acknowledge it and move on. And it's just like, that's not kind, in my humble opinion. That's not, someone's been very generous and it should be value for value. And that's how I see it. So I know I'm different and crazy and it's all shenanigans, but there you go. So, fun times. I thought these cards were going to be ready, but they don't seem to be. So let me just shuffle a little bit more and ask the question. This one comes from Kay. Hello, Catherine. You're right, darling. You're doing very well recently with your questions. A lot of people are upvoting. This one's 17. Well done, you. She asks, could you please do a reading on Trumpy Trump and Daddy Elon Musk and the EU, please? I've been reading that Trumpy Trump and Daddy Elon, are set to destroy the EU and disband them. And I'm certainly hope they do. I'm wondering what the cards can confirm about this, please. Hugs, Catherine. Oh, there's a little kiss sneaking in there, little kind of. Oh, thank you very much indeed. That's very, very kind of you. Obviously, no tongues. Obviously, no tongues. We're just being about it. Thank you very much indeed. So this is an interesting one, and I quite like this one. It kind of feels bouncy. It's interesting that, like on multiple levels, that there's this urge to punish the EU, not the citizens, and kind of like sort it out. At the same time, Stuttery Starmer is trying to, through the back door, we're not making comments around that. I made myself. I didn't say whose. I didn't say. Oh, my eyes. Oh, my eyes are leaking. Oh, no. Sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry. We are professional. Sorry. Professional. Yes, that's us. Oh, dear. Trying to get us back into EU from different directions and things like that. Oh, dear. Oh, you gotta laugh, don't you? Anyway, that really tickled. I'm so sorry. So, but let's find out, shall we? Where this is going with Daddy Elon Musk and Trumpy Trump. So there we go. One more, I've been told. Excellent. And for the new boys and girls, we always show our shuffling. I don't want you to think that I'm somehow stacking the deck. We all see the cards at the same time, okay? We all learn at the same time. So that's kind of a thing. And if there are new boys and girls here, hi. Why don't you subscribe, dingling that bell, like and hype if you can, and all the good stuff. And if you would like to suggest a future reading like Kay has, then please put them in the comments down below, and you can upvote on the suggestions and all that kind of stuff, as 17 other people did. So thank you very much indeed. So there is always the foundation of the reading, the gossip, the kind of like the energies that go around and what's happening and that kind of thing. And then there's an outcome at the end. There's always an outcome at the end. Okay, so here we go. Oh, straight out the trumpet of truth. Oh, lovely. Facts. Slap down. What are you going to do about it? Kind of energy surrounding this. I like this. This is phenomenal. This is genuinely like it. It feels as if it is like measured in tons. It's like massive, and I'm even feeling. I'm trying to release the energy at the same time, like on the back of my like that, the weight on my shoulders, kind of energy. I'm just going to return that. Don't want that. Thank you very much. But it's that kind of, yeah. So, Empress, ooh, and they hold all the cards, kind of energy as well. So the Empress here is surrounded by the fruits of their labor, their harvest. What does that truly actually mean? It's your skills, your mindset, your knowledge base, your understandings, your GCSEs, your MVQs, your driving license, your friends and family, your connections, your job, your mortgage, or everything that you've accumulated over time. Yeah? So this is definitely America in general. They hold the cards. They're speaking truths. What are you going to do about it? Trying to control the situation. Strength card. Spin is what I'm getting here. Okay? Now, notice, so far, we're all major arcana. Okay? It's not kind of whimsically, and I don't mean that in disrespect terms, but kind of minor arcana responses. It's all major. It's quite kind of like chapter heading kind of big movements. However, this feels very loosey-goosey kind of energy about it. There's something that is, I don't want to say it's meaningless, but compared to the 2-to-1 kind of energy at the moment, obviously I've got another card to put down, but it's like it feels like it's almost like a gnat, an irritant compared to kind of the tonnage that we were talking about over here. Okay. Final card, High Priestess, intuition. I've seen the grandfather clock from Stranger Things, if you've been watching that. The dong, it's like a time thing. It's a time thing. Yeah. It's like winding down the clock, or Trump's only there for another 3 and a bit years. We can keep this going kind of thing, or something along those sorts of lines there. And I know the High Priestess is normally intuition, kind of read the room energy, but it feels like but yet another major arcana. Interesting. So this is definitely America over here. Trumpy Trump, Daddy Elon Musk, blah, blah, blah. This is like the complexity of the EU. Mumsy card, Queen of Pentacles. Now, the Queen of Pentacles is like I said, the mumsy card, being organised, the Tupperware kind of stacking, kind of like getting ready for the picnic, that kind of thing, caring, want to do it for the right reasons, all that kind of stuff. So that's nice there. Slap bang in the middle, cause and effect, justice. This is showing them up. Remember when Trumpy Trump did the tariffs and stuff, and I know they're still going on for many areas and things like that. However, isn't it interesting that the ones that are holier than thou, the progressives, all that kind of stuff, holier than thou, we're better than that, we're self-righteous with this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah. We're not being, we're not going to be dragged down to your level and all that kind of shenanigans. How quickly did they put, their own tariffs? Even on the UK. You know what I mean? It's like, what do you think you'd... I thought you were saying, like, literally weeks ago that this was a bad idea. Oh, it's horrific and foul and breaking international treaties and blah, 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 and excuses and reasons and stuff like that. But you've done it yourselves now. So what is your excuse? It's if you know this. It's like, what? But this is bigger than that, but that's just the highlight that I'm being told there. It's like this contradiction, this this kind of tit for tat, this you say one thing but do an entirely different thing. It's like that kind of energy there. And they think they can scapegoat. They can get out. They can, calm shores. It's all going to be fine. Just wind down the clock, this, that, and the other. Not actually focusing on what they're talking about, and even their own member states. And once again, I tweeted this out, subtle plug. But we were talking about how Bulgaria, well done them. We should celebrate them. They basically, like the whole government. The Prime Minister, the whole government resigned because of the mass protests that no one wanted to go into the EU because the deadline was the 1st of January. And the population spoke, and there was so much pressure that the whole lot had to resign. Because of it. Well done them. Well done them. But the arrogance over here, kind of like we can hold this out. We can wait this out. They'll be fine. Delusional. It feels delusional. So we've got wish coming true. There we go. Cause and effect, holding them accountable. Wish coming true, manifesting it into being. Yeah, on the American side. See what I mean? Trapped, imprisonment. How many times in the last couple of days? It even came out in the Obama reading about imprisonment and trap and stuff like that. They're stuck. Yeah, the institutions, the alphabet spaghetti, whatever you want to call them, they're all trapped in there. They want to just like move on into calmer shores. It's going to like waste down time, but it's stuck. Hierophant. Interesting that we've got the kind of like the power couple of the Hierophant and the High Priestess. Yeah, that's always important to me when I'm reading tarot. Is it like sometimes it's as an example, for me on a private reading that I did, it was the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles, the power couple. Yeah, this feels like going back to kind of like universal truths, universal beliefs, universal understandings, rules and regulations. I know it's the Hierophant compared to the High Priestess, where the Hierophant is organized religion, basically, weddings, marriages, that kind of thing, normally, or organizations for rules and regulations, law, order, that kind of stuff. High Priestess is more the hippie one. It's more kind of like the New Age. So you've got organized religions and the New Age up there. Either way, right? Their intuition is basically saying, their nudges are saying we can wait this out, but they're not. They can't. They can't do it. So this is a snapshot of now. Okay, as the foundation of the reading. This is this feels like this is something connected, and I'm glad this has kind of come up because I forgot to mention it recently again, because I was going to even yesterday and I completely forgot because I'm just silly. Remember, there was a prediction that there's something that's going to be sneaked out in the week, and it feels like it's the week between Fesmas New Year. Okay, where everybody else is kind of hungover and overeating and watching kind of Wallace and Gromit, legendary, and other stuff, distracted with friends and family and blah, blah, blah. It's going to be sneaked out. So we need to keep an eye as a village, the greatest good village, about that. It feels like it's connected here. And it's more about like morals, ethics, that kind of stuff. Overarching energy, 5 of Swords. That makes sense. EU against, Trumpy Trump, Daddy Elon Musk. Underlying energy, it keeps coming out. Even with the missing Obama reading. I'm sorry, I'm surprised that it's behind. But I was, like I said, there's a reason for it. But the 6 of Pentacles here keeps coming out about going back to traditional democracy, give and take, back and forth. Yeah, balancing it out. So this is interesting. This is very, very interesting. And I do enjoy that. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize it was shining so much. I don't know. I keep changing the settings on the lights here, and they're still being cheeky. So apologies about that. But the 5 of Swords here, I think this feels like a 4-way instead of a 5-way, if you get me. And what I mean, but it could be a 5-way, I suppose. What I mean for that is that we're talking about Daddy Elon Musk, Trumpy Trump, too. We're talking about everybody of the EU. We're talking about, especially in Bulgaria's case, the countries themselves. And then it's the people. So it's like, do you see what I'm saying? It's like, that's the energy I'm getting there, and I miscounted, and it makes sense, right? So, how dare I how dare I put my own influence into the reading? I don't know nothing. So, as a reading, this is very interesting. I'm very excited about the fact that we've got truth twice. Okay. And as we move forward, even though I feel that these two are just America in general, like Daddy Elon, Trumpy Trump, What I'm being nudged to do is the judgment is we consider that as Elon, and Empress we consider that as Trumpy Trump. Okay, even though if for some reason we need to, that's what we need to remember as we move on. I don't know why, but there we go. I'm just following what I'm told. So let's get the prediction deck out for the gossip level. Now, the gossip level, just as a reminder for every beautiful person here, is all about the energies between things. It's kind of like, we call it gossip because we're just nosy buggers, let's be honest. However, it's the connections. It's what they're... what's the motives, what's going on behind the scenes, that kind of thing, yeah? So that's why I really do enjoy doing the gossip bit, because then when we get to the outcome, it kind of brings it all together. It makes a bit more sense. These are very clumpy to shuffle. Almost like staticky for some reason. Kind of, there's big wads that don't want to separate out for some reason. So let's have a butcher's here. Right. So one more. Yeah, there we go. Right. So let's find out what happens. What's happening behind the scenes. So darkness. There's definitely something. That's weird. There's something from Daddy Elon where it's like it's either he doesn't want to or he doesn't. It's like he can't say something, but he's hinting towards it, if that makes sense. But it's but it is also coupled with obviously him being fined 100 million or whatever it was, or Twitter X, whatever. But it's something along the lines of, it's like it's a weird balancing act where, excuse me, if he says something too much, it's like, then they can then, sorry, there was a gnat or something. It can close down the whole platform or something like that. It's something like along those lines. So it's a very thin line where it feels like there is like a legal team there with him though. So it's like he's just trying to be as careful as possible, but kind of hinting towards what to look into, if that makes sense. Empress, Trumpy Trump. Planned outcome. Okay. That's nice. This feels like 4D chess. It's quite similar to what we were talking about just literally a couple of minutes ago, where it's like you basically slag him off, oh, how outrageous, blah, 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 and then does exactly the same thing. And it's like, well, why are you not being called out? And, British steer at 25% or whatever, this, that, and the other. There is a 4D chess thing going on here. And it's rare that I'm like, because we always look at the pretty pictures, but I'm very, very much being drawn to the mirroring of those two towers, I suppose they are, behind the figure. It's like this tit for tat kind of thing, but it's like exposing the hypocrisy, I suppose. Strength card, winds of change, high priestess returns to normal. What type of normal? What type of normal? Because like, it's that time, isn't it? It's that taking down the clock type thing that we were talking about. Queen of Pentacles, social media. So there's something bigger here. Something along the lines of that the whole purpose of Twitter is not what is being said. It's kind of like, it's almost like citizen journalism. That's the whole purpose of it now. It's like it needs to keep going, because if it goes down, if it goes down, then we don't really know what's going on in Europe from their point of view. It's that kind of energy. Hence the reason why the BBC's up a certain creek without a paddle at the moment. Hence the reason why there's this exposing of we can't trust mainstream legacy media. And Europe is clamping down on sharing of information and data and all that kind of stuff. There's that kind of energy about it. Justice, or under pressure, submarine, underwater. Six of Swords, Six of Swords, heat wave. That's us. That's you and me. It's always us. This kind of passion, this kind of pushback, this. So they think they can calm down the clock. The winds of change are here, so they're trying to control the winds of change. Right, with the strength card underneath, they're desperately trying to control this winds of change, but the winds of change are here. They reckon, from their arrogant self-righteousness, that the clock can wind down and it'll be over, but the passion is here. The people are speaking, and now it's like it's interesting that it's the second reading this has happened this week, isn't it? Where they're like, the EU are in the corner, or the person is trapped in the corner and surrounded by Trumpy Trump, Elon, winds of change, kind of like the uprising, as it were, from regular people. And they're kind of there. I've noticed the towers behind it. They're in their ivory towers, just waiting for the clock to wind down, and it'll be all fine and dandy, and we can return back to the big program kind of energy, right? But the wish coming true here, the Nine of Cups, cyber attack. Cyber attack feels very much like the online media thing again. Okay, this is a double whammy. Speech still getting out, information still getting out. Yeah, it's that kind of getting around, like VPNs, that kind of thing, getting around, still getting information out as long as we can kind of thing. Eight of Swords. And I should say, this is the reason why, as an example, I subtly plug that we do have a Twitter account. This is the reason why, is that we have an alternative. If something happens, we have an alternative method of talking and communicating. I am half tempted. I don't know if we've still got the link down, but we do have an account, as an example, for doing kind of email newsletter things. I don't remember whether or not the link is in the description. I just happen to have YouTube. Let me have a look. No, we don't have that. We should put it. I think we should start putting it. Something's telling me that we should have a third backup. not to spam, but if emergency, we've got X, Twitter in the moment communication, and then we've got the backup newsletter thing to actually because the website's down at the moment, and it's going to take a while to get it all back up and running. There's technical stuff, and I don't know if you noticed, there's also Fesmus and New Year coming up, so it's all kind of happening at once. So it's a bit kind of complicated. So I think, but with this, it feels as if, even with our Greatest Good Village community, we need to kind of set up alternatives and things like that. Duties, keep quiet. Now, the duties keep quiet is on the 8 of Swords. So they're imprisoned, they're trapped in their ivory towers, as an example, and they're still trying to get their heads down, keep moving in their kind of ideology, kind of Fabian society, WEF kind of malarkey. Okay? More control, more control, more control, more control. Hierophant, business tycoon. This feels as if something they didn't see coming. I'm being reminded, and we have spoke about it on the channel before, like in the last week or so, where, and it's not just the Germans, but it was the story we were talking about, that the German companies who I think I'm right in saying are in kind of chemical industry and stuff like that, who have been relying on cheap Russian gas and oil and thing. Germany's finally been called out about, are you ever going to stop funding Russia? And then they're like, oh, whoops-a-daisy. We best stop doing that. So the companies are leaving, and leaving Germany after 100 years or whatever, long time, and moving to China to build their industries there, to then still use cheap Russian oil and gas. That's just an example of, this feels like a mass exodus. It doesn't feel like one business tycoon. It feels like multitude of businesses who are like enough of this crap, we're leaving, which feels very strongly like they didn't see coming. Okay? They didn't see this jumping ship because they've been funding democracy, and they've been funding this, that, and the other, and they've been trying to be good partners and neighbors and all that kind of thing, and now they've pushed and pushed and pushed, and now suddenly they're leaving and going elsewhere, and this, that, and the other. This exodus, that's what I'm sensing here, because of too much legislation, too much red tape with the Hierophant underneath. Rules, regulations. Overarching energy, heavy burdens, aren't they just? Underlying energy, control puppet, keeps coming up. Keeps coming up. Right, so this, I'm just going to lean back to make sure that we've covered everything here. I'll say now, they're delusional if they think this is going to happen. All this here, they're delusional, because obviously it's the tax receipts now that are not going to be there because the businesses are buggering off. We're upset. Yeah. Rules and regulations, the two-tier justice is happening across Europe, not just here. In fact, it's happening across most Western countries, I should say. And it's getting to a point now where the funding is going to dry up somehow. Yeah, because these tycoons are just like, screw this. Had enough. For some reason, it keeps echoing as a download concerning like the Schengen Agreement kind of area thing. At the beginning, like, when was it? It started rolling out, what, this year? Or yeah, it was this year, wasn't it? But it's really going to start picking up January. It's in waves. Different countries doing it at different times. Nothing new with Europe, is it? But if you're traveling from, well, outside the Schengen area thing in to mainstream into mainland Europe, you need a certain type. They want your fingerprints and data, and like I'm surprised they're not measuring you in multiple different directions and ways, and taking your shoe size and all that kind of stuff. There's like lots of things they're doing if you've got a passport to go into Europe. However, it's fascinating that they're not doing this, it seems, with if you don't have a passport. If you get what I'm saying. It seems like very confusing kind of approach. For some reason, that's been, since the heat wave card went down, that's been echoing in my head about kind of like the two-tierness or the double standards or whatever you want to call it. It's bizarre. There is something to do with that. It's like, what's going to happen to that data? When does it delete itself? Why, that kind of thing. Why do you need fingerprints from everybody who's landing in a Ryanair flight? Even the children, what I can gather is like, what are you doing with all that data? Why do you need it for that? All that kind of stuff. All those questions. But not doing it. If you're just traveling through, for example, you got to laugh, don't you? We've still got to laugh. Keep those vibes high. So the outcome to this reading. There's something elusive. It doesn't want to talk, or doesn't want to be acknowledged, or doesn't want to be. There's something that's like it's like the elephant in the room. It's the hidden in plain sight kind of energy. There's just something around this whole reading that doesn't make sense. And it's like, don't acknowledge it. Don't. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the heavy rains that are currently happening right now. But it's, yeah. Hopefully it'll come up in the outcome, but it's just there on the sideline. Just don't look at me. Don't see me. You don't see me. Right. Taking a leap of faith. Beautiful. And they're stuck. No, they're not stuck. Hold on. Let me just. They're stuck. There is something here that Trumpy Trump is very, like, Elon is just taking it. He doesn't give a monkey's now. He's just like, what are you going to do? What really are you going to do at this point? Kind of thing. Trumpy Trump is, it feels like it's between a rock and a hard place decision. Something specifically there about that. The death card here is, what was that on? The Winds of Change. Yeah, they're screwed. Europe is screwed. And then they're going to try and offer. Notice there's lots of movement here. Yeah, with the horses. So the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest one in the deck. Okay, they're a stubborn bugger to move. But from their ivory tower, it's like, okay, maybe we can negotiate, or maybe we can do something, or pressure. But the death card is like the tanks on the lawn. That's what it feels like. It feels very much like you have no choice here. This is over. This is over. The death card, a majority of readings, until very recently, it seems, majority of the readings it's all about rebirth, renewal. Yeah, kind of like recycle, redo. Did anyone else hear that? I don't even know what device that would even come from. I don't know if you did hear it, put it in the comments down below. But it was like, it's very weird that we were talking about is normally about, to acknowledge it, to say this is full stop. This is over. This weird thing is done. Social media. Again, trumpet of truth. So Elon Musk is going, screw you guys, flipping table kind of energy. Enough's enough. Judgment, more truth coming out, social media, yeah? Data, evidence, what's really going on, like we were talking about earlier. Burdens, suddenly, like double whammy, more pressure, the truth, cause and effect, all that kind of stuff. They can't handle it. They're not used to this scrutiny. This feels like, I'm surprised the Sun card hasn't come out to kind of like the floodgate, not the floodgate, I'm sorry, the floodlight. Interesting floodgate. The floodlight is on them. The spotlight's on them. The pressure, they're not used to this kind of, normally it's behind the scenes and they don't, nothing to see here, blah, blah, blah. But it's based upon this difficult decision. This feels as if it's like a Trumpy Trump sitting behind the Oval Office desk doing one of those kind of presidential speechy type things. We interrupt this for some sort of statement from the president, blah, blah, blah. Yeah? That kind of, so we can lay it out. It's like, this is what they're doing. This is what this kind of shenanigans is about. Fire, heat wave, you and me, putting the work in. So you and I are putting the work in to add this pressure. More protests, more asking for more democracy, more this, more that. Yeah? Yeah. I want to keep saying cartel. Yeah, sort of against this cartel. Because it's democracy, blah, blah, blah. You vote in for like a third of it's only a third of the whole thing, whole shebang, innit? You only vote for the parliament, and it's not technically a parliament. They can't propose anything, really. It all comes from the EU Council. They decree, these are the things we want you to vote on. Yeah, and if we don't, and as history keeps telling us, if you vote the wrong way, we're going to keep asking you to vote on this until you get the right answer. And then you've got, what have you got? The Parliament, the Council, and then the, von der Leyen kind of, the completely kind of separate upper echelons type thing. There's very little democracy that actually goes on in the EU. So this feels not just for UK, but multiple populations putting the work in to prevent, stop, hold people accountable, that kind of thing. I know it's my new buzzword right now, but that's the sort of energy overall. Accountability is finally coming to all these interesting people. these interesting shenanigan-y type people. Cyber attack. Now we're moving on. Wow. So they thought they could move on if they just wound down the clock. We're now moving on because of into calmer shores, because Trumpety Trump of the judgment twice. This feels like at great personal cost, this fool card taking a leap of faith. Yeah. But remember, the Six of Swords thought they were going to have it. The elites of EU were going to just It will go into calmer shores. It will wind itself down. It will sort itself out. It will just like, we can continue on this, blah, blah, blah. Duties. There we go. Between us putting our work in, yeah, and moving on down here, suddenly we're back to what also keeps coming up, the Six of Cups. Going back to traditional ways, the traditional interactions between, traditional democracy, actual representation, actual things happening. Yeah? Business tycoon. Balances out. Overarching energy. Hawk lady. Oh, there she is, my dear. Oh, it always feels like an age until we see her again. I appreciate it'll be like buses. You wait forever and then multiple turn up at the same time. But this is the Garden of Eden that we actually want to build. It's not this up here with their trinkets, their bribery, their offer, but it's too little too late kind of thing. This is what we want to build. This is what we're putting the work in. This is what we're going towards. Yeah. This is the traditions. This is what we want to see again. Yeah. Wish coming true. 9 of Cups. Twice now. Twice in this reading. It's coming. It's coming. So they can be arrogant and they can like, oh, we're doing a press conference and we're going to this, that and the other and aren't we great and blah, blah, blah and all that kind of crap. But it don't matter. They can say whatever they want. They're in so much, they're up such a creek with heavy burdens because Daddy Elon Musk is right behind them on the. And it's interesting that the hiding something is come up behind him, which is what we were talking about over here, the darkness, this very fine line that he needs to go on. And then, oh, look at that, right behind that is the tensions escalating. And the winds of change are right behind that, the tornado. So it's like, and we've even got, we've even got the businesses that we were talking about down here, business tycoon, moving away, going elsewhere, that kind of stuff. So many people are involved, and it's going to be big news because there's been betrayals. It's many, many betrayals. I'm going to stop there because, quite frankly, we could just sit here all day and just pick them up. And that would not be entertaining. That would not be fun. Because the shuffling's my favourite bit. It's like, ooh, shuffle. Oh, it's makes me feel important. Ooh. It's like, ooh, shiny bits. So, let's finish off here with the Kipper deck. But this is phenomenal. This is really... the fact this is orchestrated, the fact that, remember, we're focusing on the EU here, but it's the individual countries as well. It's like France is up a creek without a paddle. You've got Macron, who's basically a dictatorship over there right now. You've got Zelensky, who's technically not in the EU, but he's pausing democracy because, reasons since May 2024. And people are quite miffed off about that in Ukraine, which is interesting that maybe he doesn't know this because he never seems to be in Ukraine. Have you noticed it? It's like Stuttery Starmer. He never seems to be here in the UK. He seems to be everywhere. It's like, Germany had an issue this time last year where they kind of pulled the parliament and had another general election at the beginning of this year, which has kind of changed a few things, but they're still not quite out the woods yet kind of energy. And that's before we get to the, what is it, maths, 23 other countries. What on earth? See, did you hear that as well? That was a weird kind of horn that played, which is weird. Anyway, so we got a piece of technology, but I appreciate the acknowledgement. A piece of technology that in this humble abode that I have no idea what on earth it was. It sounded like one of those kind of, what were they called back in the day? The stupid little pets. Tamagotchi one. It sounded like a weird kind of this kind of thing of that, which I can promise you there ain't any of them in here. And now we've got a weird horn. Each to their own. Each to their own. But I'm liking the acknowledgements. So let's... Great fortune. There we go. Great fortune. Official person. Marriage. This is the contract. Notice that the marriage is on us. Yeah? Putting the work in. The contract between EU in this instance, or democracy in general, and us. The official person, the burdens here, calling the truths out from Trumpy Trump, holding them accountable. Death. Coffin. Message of concern, isn't it just? Message of concern. Overarching energy. Mature woman. Now remember, this is masculine, feminine energies. This is not actual man, woman, blah, blah, blah. But that, I feel like, is von der Leyen that kind of, don't you know who I am? Blah, 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 kind of energy, yeah? Having thoughts about the situation, hence the bribery, the trinkets. It always goes back to trinkets, isn't it? For some reason, I want to do the cartoon clarity as well. The reading's over, right? Right now, the reading's over. We know where we're going on that because I'm just being a nosy sod. This is the new thing that seems to be happening recently. I'm just going to get the cartoon clarity out for the Kipper deck as well, just to find out. But the great fortune here is phenomenal. This is not just money. This is wealth, value of things, the value of society, the value of what we want in our own countries, the value of things, yeah? And can I remind people, just as a thing, yeah? This is, if you think about it, the EU project is like the... What is it? The third attempt? The fourth attempt of since World War II? Fifth, if you think about World War One, because when they're the was it the League of Nations, the League of Countries, the League of something? Prior to which purpose was let's not have another war. Spoiler alert, that didn't go well. I don't know if you've caught up, and it didn't go well. Then they had the UN and NATO. The predecessor to the EU, and I'm sure there was something else in it, but it's definitely like the fourth. I can't think of the fifth one, if there is one. But yeah, there are definitely four variants of the same thing up to this point. With allegedly different idea. Robbery, exactly. Stealing from us. Exploiting the situations. Suddenly calling it out. How many times now with the judgment? We had two judgments over here. We had the truth slap bang in the centre. Cause and effect, you reap what you sow, justice card, yeah? How many times has it come up? Even with the social media and communications and stuff like that, twice now as well. So it's the whole thing is about liberty, freedoms, communication, freedom of speech, all that kind of stuff. So, official person, cursed. Wow. Catastrophic misfortune is what I hear there. Absolute. Yeah. Marriage. Upset. The loss. That's come out. There was another reading similar to this, wasn't there, about the loss of kind of the project, Fabian Society, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. That was in the last week, 10 days. Remind me down in the comments if you can remember. There's a gnat back again. Oh, gnats. But yeah, that's basically the divorce of this. You know, we're kind of acknowledging that we've lost. The contract is wrong. The contract is rude. and bad and horrific. The damage is done, and now we're snipping it out. And it feels very much it's them from their ivory towers kind of energy, the loss. Something. Okay, this is weird. Okay, I'm just going to put this on the record, and do with it what you will. Asterisk. Okay, asterisk. There is something to remind us that back at like World War II, obviously there was stolen artwork by the bad guys. I think that's the diplomatic way of saying it. The naughty people stole lots of things and that kind of stuff, and it's they had to return all the goods and things like that. There's something similar there about all the fortunes that people have made, the ivory towers, on the back of everybody else. There is some sort of exchange back. Asterisk. There. Coffin. Stressed out, aren't they just? There's the bribes. There's the bribes, the temptation, the money. Message of concern. I hate to say, how many times does it happen in a reading? Let's be honest, right? I'm not trying to be egotistical, seriously, because for me also, you see the cards as soon as I see them. But I love when the magic trick works. You say, I'm talking about something, it's like, it feels like this, blah, 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 and it comes straight up in the cards. There you go. The money. All about the money, the riches they've accumulated, on the back of stuff, the persuading of things, the tit for tat kind of negotiation type things, getting their own way. They're being cut out. Loneliness. And I don't mean this in a disrespectful way. It feels like leper, kind of like banished. Yeah, purposely isolated. Go away. Leave alone. Go, we don't want you. Scum. Go away. That kind of energy. The rejection that we've been talking about. Promise. Here we go. This promise here feels like a new... It's going to be different for different people. But this feels like a new... for Americans, if it was like in their kind of world, this would be a new amendment to the Constitution. That's what it kind of feels like. But this promise here, for different countries, different things, different reasons, but to boil it to the UK, which I know a little bit better, this feels like not only a recommitment to common law, but it's also a recommitment to ensure that it can't be insidious again. It can't be manipulated again. There's something specific there about that kind of thing. Wow. Wow. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So, this is phenomenal. It feels kind of like the timeline of this. It feels as if the difficult choice and like the speech kind of thing for Trumpy Trump kind of thing, that's about May, June, it feels like. Kind of like 5 months, 6 maybe. Kind of that sort of May, June. This feels like more August sort of time, maybe like 8 months from now, kind of publishing kind of thing. This kind of the contract with the people, the curse, been branded kind of energy. The real hate is exposed, that kind of thing. The fact that we got the death card twice is amazing. Basically, it just clarifies the energy we're talking about in it. I'm just trying to get times here, timelines. But it's all about there's something to do with the other shoe dropping. There's something to do with until the other shoe drops. Let's have a look here. Star card. It's divinely guided. Okay, fair enough. Defending their ground, hollow victories, stabbed in the back, burdens, that kind of thing. Interesting that the 5 here is looking at them. All the bad deeds they've done, basically. Heartbreak. Lovers and Emperor. Okay, so this... So the authority here, there's something to do... Hold on, something to do with the Emperor, the Lovers, Heartbreak. There is... Something. Sorry, I am so sorry. Once again, you can leave now. It's okay. The reading of is now gone. That's now you can go back to work. Go. You're probably out of coffee. Go. In fact, I haven't even had a coffee yet. Talking about coffee. Cheers, my dears. It's probably lukewarm now. It's like drinking a swimming pool. Who's peed in this? Right. Black deck. What is this other shoe? Remember, for the new boys and girls, just to keep you up to date, this black deck, unlike all the other decks that I use, are topsy-turvy. Okay, so it's some are upright, some are reversed. This deck specifically wants to stay that way, so that's why it has. Okay, so oh, my third eye is really getting warm. The 2 of Wands in reverse. This feels as if this feels like, because sometimes it's like lack of planning, because obviously upright, it's what do you want to do, where do you want to go, that kind of stuff, plotting, planning, scheming, that kind of thing. This feels like rejection, or it backfires, or there is some form of thing that's not worked. Divinely guided again. For example, and this is purely just an example, okay? This feels like, if it was like stop the boat, smash the gangs, blah, 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 buzzword, that kind of thing. This, showing, the incompetence. There is something here about incompetence. And I'm genuinely, I'm not saying this, but I'm trying to translate the energy and the feelings into kind of language, because that helps. I've heard that helps. But just as an example, so you're set, as an example, Starry Starmer, smash the gangs, working people, breakfast clubs. Smash the gangs, smash the gangs, smash the gangs. It then turns out that through kind of UK aid, as an example, it turns out that actually the UK are paying for the boats in a convoluted way, kind of thing. It's that sort of energy. I'm not saying that's it. I'm not saying that is actually the subject that we're talking about here. That the other shoe dropping to domino affect everything else, but it's that kind of thing. And that, once again, divinely guided, is meant to be this way. Yeah? It's meant to be. See what I mean? Happily ever after. It's got to be this way, that the true extent of the corruption, and I don't mean that legally, I'm just meaning like as word, right? To expose it all. Going back to the energy of that sun card that I keep sensing is nearby, that kind of floodlight, spotlight, kind of exposing it all. 1111, happy home. Make a wish. So this is whatever this exposure is, whatever this like, the realization here is so dramatic. It's so incompetent. It's such a huge betrayal that it pushes people towards enough's enough. And there's the heartbreak. Ace of Cups. The loss. This is feeling as if this bit here is the grieving of the realization of this. Even though it's truly beneficial, it's divinely guided, that clearing out that we keep talking about. It's not just the figureheads, it's the minions behind the scenes. It's all the Muppets. It's all the Jobsworths. It's all, you know, I'm just doing my job. Rubbish. Sorry, I despise those people. I'm sorry, I do, because it's like, you don't leave your morals and empathy and ethics at the door as if you're hanging them up as a coat on the peg, you know, in my humble opinion. You're that lost that you just blissfully, yeah, whatever, putting your name to things, you know? That's, yeah, I don't like them. I used to feel sorry for them, to be honest with you. I used to feel as if they, like, if only they learned the ways, they're so lost, they need to be kind of brought back, that kind of stuff. But the fact that they're not even doing, you know, because by now, some of them you would have thought may have seen the light, as it were. But there's more of them now. Do you see? They just seem to multiply. It's... But even though we've got Happy Home, 1111, Make a Wish, celebrations, yeah? Lovely. We've got, like, basically happily ever after kind of thing. We've got the Nine of Cups that came up twice, wish coming true, manifesting, Star card. But there is this beat, this moment of, through all the celebration, there's tears as well of how could it have got this bad? How have it got this so, especially with the Ace of Cups in the reverse as well. That kind of emotional kind of release, as it were. Overarching energy, victory, success. And there's the grief again. So there is going to be this national moment of hold on, what do you want to come out there? High Priestess, follow your intuition. So this very much feels as if it does. You think the thing is, and I'll put this on the record, and then we'll close this up, right? Because it's getting to the point where we'll be here forever, right? But there's something here. It's not, as an example, it's not the May elections. It's not the calling for a general election. It's not that kind of thing. It's purposeful. It's the calling out of something extraordinary that should never have been done. And it's like as the example was, yeah? It's that kind of betrayal, it feels like, that has led to all this. The complete undoing of it. Anyway, we're going to leave this here for now. Thank you so much. If you've lasted this long, comment in the bottom, I'm still here, Gigi. But we'll call it a day for now. So until next time, where we do this crazy shenanigans all over again, take care. Look after yourself. Be well. And thank you for your company. I'll speak to you soon. See you later. Ta-ra.